The product category we selected to work with is beauty products, which are fast-moving consumer goods. Our aim is to understand the behavioral components that affect their purchase decision by means of a qualitative research on a sample of 9 consumers. We selected 3 well-known brands, Chanel, MAC, and Lush, which target consumers from different market segments. The presentation will cover 6 main components of marketing that affect consumers' behavior. According to these consumers that we interviewed, Lush and MAC have more contemporary appeal compared to Chanel, which is more classic. When being asked to rate the functionality served by these cosmetics, consumers think Chanel and Lush have more symbolic functions. Also, according to our consumers, Chanel represented hedonistic values and Lush expressed their concern about the environment. On the other hand, MAC is a combination of both symbolic and utilitarian values. Words such as bold, trendy, and practical came into the minds of our consumers when they heard of the brand MAC. Moving forward to in-store promotion. Hildebrand 1988 and Braston and Zorilla 2011 state that store image is based on individual consumer experience concerning of store attributes, which include product, quality, pricing, assortment, locational convenience, customer service, store atmosphere, and pleasantness of shopping, and impacts consumers' purchase behavior. When we asked our consumers to describe their experience within the store, they had the opinion that Chanel has a luxurious atmosphere, where the store was decorated in classic black and white theme and had creamy furnished floors with a lot of space to walk around. The staff were professionally dressed along with an image of elegance attached to them. One of the consumers was aware of the private sales, which was very exclusive event. MAC stores, on the other hand, had a mini makeup artist studio image. The store has a very straight and narrow layout to ensure customers take a glimpse of all their products. Promotion strategies such as Back to MAC and Viva Glam, plus their all-year-round MAC makeover program ensured consumer retention. Another eye-catching fact that consumers noticed was that the staff look like makeup artists who have an edgy dress-up code and makeup toolkit worn around their waist. Lush uses more elaborative and interactive point of purchase display, such as large chalkboards that inform consumers about their ethical practices. Another tactic used by them is displaying sample natural ingredients that their products constitute of. By use of recycled timber in their store fittings, Lush expresses its concern for sustainability. Our consumer felt welcome in Lush stores, where they were encouraged to pick up, smell, and use samples of product on the go. The sales personnel were knowledgeable about the products and were always ready to go the extra mile to solve consumer problems. In conclusion, we can state that in-store atmosphere assists mainly in information search, evaluation, and decision stages of the decision-making process, as it enhances the desire of purchase and encourages the customers to make their buying decision instantly.
So, what about semiotics? According to Quester et al. 2014, semiotics is the study of how the meaning is created, maintained, and altered by focusing on signs, symbols, and any other forms or visual systems. Chanel campaigns were well known to play with their brand's feminine and sophisticated codes. Typically, on viewing these ads, our consumers had an impression of bold, liberating, stylized, modern, and elegant woman image. Consumers felt that the makeup used on these models were not overpowering but portrayed the sophistication attached to the brand very well. An impression of pop culture lasted in the minds of our consumers as MAC used artists such as Nicki Minaj and Ariana Grande in their promotion strategies. Hence, even when MAC released lipsticks with unusual colors such as mint green and lobotomy blue, people readily accepted them as part of their current trend. Nahafian and Baggy 2011 state that by placing the photographed famous icons beside the brand name, actively construct a relationship between the woman and the brand. Beasley and Denisi 2002 believes that these ads endorsed by celebrities will make the product appear reliable. It does this by placing an iconic sign and a linguistic sign next to each other. First look of the last ad left our consumers with the notion of a fresh and natural product image. They could sense that the products were handmade and chemical-free. Now, let's move on to motives. When we ask our consumers to define their motives that are involved in purchasing beauty products from these three brands, by digging deeper into their minds, we realized that the latent motives involved in purchase decision were actually different for most of them. Consumers admitted to several manifest motives that were clear, such as premium quality, sensual appeal, or simply elegance, being the major factor behind purchasing Chanel cosmetics. Whereas, one of our consumers admitted to the fact that the social acceptance was actually the main motive for her. According to CAS 2001, many consumers appear to emphasize image and utilize material possessions, such as fashion clothing, to portray images that display their success and status. Variety of products, value for money that accompanies professional assistance were major reasons why people chose MAC. But when we asked them to share their assumptions as to why the others might purchase MAC, they pointed out that others might want to enhance their sexual appeal with a cheaper deal. Last, consumers chose it for fun and fruity colors, which were made from all natural ingredients and ethically sourced. Again, we could sense social acceptance as the latent motive behind purchasing Lust. Richens and those in 1992 argued it to affect image orientation.
Let's talk about influence now. When asked about who influenced their purchase decision the most, participants in our research when it comes to purchasing Lush and Chanel Cosmetic identified colleague or social groups to be the major source of influence. Consumers agreed that in order to be accepted by their reference groups and maintain social role, they had to purchase the above-mentioned brand. Hence, both users groups have undergoing normative influence. L'Oreal et al. 2017 states that consumers of fashion products compare their taste and preference with the pioneers in this industry. MAC and Chanel users were heavily influenced by opinion leaders such as celebrity and bloggers. As discussed earlier, MAC consumer purchased the mint green and Labatone blue shades of lipstick just to look like Nicki Minaj. This can be witnessed as a case of identification influence. Attitude change strategies. To change consumers' attitude towards the company, our cosmetic brands influence consumers' cognitive component by adding or removing product attribute. In our case, focusing on CSR. Dota 2015 states that business should involve operation with social commitment in order to exceed consumers' expectation. Besides, it also could be an affect component, where the brand associates itself with an admired group or event. Chanel, with its Foundation Chanel program, aims to advance women's independence and empowerment by increasing their access to economic resource and social protection. MAC as Fund received 100% of proceeds from Viva Glam product range. This HIV/AIDS campaign is endorsed by famous celebrities like Lady Gaga, Nicki Minaj, and Christina Aguilera. Green and Pelosa 2011 states that outcomes from CSR include positive company evaluation, higher purchase intention, positive word of mouth, and even willingness to pay higher price. Based on this evidence, we can conclude that by adopting CSR measures, such as the one we mentioned, our consumer has had a positive attitude change towards our brands. Also, by removing attributes such as animal testing and chemical from its product, Lush has had even more positive impact on the brand's attitude.
Moving on to the cross-cultural elements. Being global brands, both Chanel and MAC don't differentiate their marketing strategies across different markets. Published in Yale Insights, Maureen Shike, the CEO of Chanel, stated that even though nationality is not completely irrelevant to Chanel, yet their products and ad campaigns essentially only have a French ethos. MAC's campaigns can be seen using female icons and global heroes from different cultures, races, and careers to target different markets and make consumers feel more involved. On the contrary, Lush marketing strategies clearly have cultural dimensions attached to it. These strategies align with Hofstede's 2011 arguments, where in individualistic and indulgent societies such as Australia, Lush uses product benefit focused marketing strategy and also focuses on consumers' leisure such as bath goals encouraging them to post their bath time pictures on social media. Whereas in collectivist societies and restrained societies such as Japan, it focuses on social benefit, as promotion based on sex appeal will not be effective. Therefore, it emphasizes on saving the Japanese sea from toxic waste. In conclusion, our brands use various marketing techniques to gain a bigger market share as well as retain their existing customers. Analyzing theories from consumer behavior helped us gain insight into our consumers' purchase decision and
That's all, folks.